Taiwan, I'm Joyce with news from here in Taiwan and around the world. We begin this evening in South Korea, where President Yeol has been impeached for declaring martial law earlier this month. Lawmakers needed at least a two-thirds majority to succeed, which they reached with 204 votes. The decision now passes to the Constitutional Court for deliberation. They have 180 days to decide. In the meantime, Yoon will be stripped of his constitutional powers, and the country's Prime Minister, Han Duck-soo, will act as interim president. The court will later decide if Yoon's removal from office is warranted. He would be the second South Korean president voted out of office. In the back streets of Seoul, longtime drinking establishments are struggling with a slowing economy and alcohol culture on the decline. Sonia Schlesinger explores what this means for South Korea's small business owners and university students.
Shot glasses clinking and raucous toasts. These are the sounds Jun Jung-suk remembers as she fries mung bean pancakes at her pub on Seoul's famous Nokdu Street. There was a time when Nokdu was so crowded you could barely walk.
거리가 그냥 머리밖에 없어. 까매. 길이 안 보여요. 머리만 까맣게 보일 정도로 사람이 많았어요.
Jun's bar, too, was once full every night. A hot spot for university students and co-workers out for a drink after work.
당연하죠. 옛날에는 무조건 선배가 내는 거예요. 그러니까 그 대물림 문화라는 게 그거였어요. 선배가 후배들을 사주는 게. 대학교 신입생들은 절대 돈을 들고 다니면 안 돼요. 돈을 쓸 수가 없어.
But as South Korea's economy slows and people grow hesitant to spend money on nights out, all of that has changed.
원래 내놓기는 재작년에 내놨는데 보러 오는 사람이 없어요. 한 사람도 보러 온 사람이 없었어요. 근데 보다시피 거리에 사람이 없는데 여기 누가 장사를 하러 오겠냐고요.
It's not just the economy that's different. After-work drinking sessions, known as hueshik, have fallen sharply in South Korea. A 2007 Seoul High Court ruling made it illegal for workers to force subordinates to drink alcohol. And since then, more and more workers, especially women, have stopped taking part in hueshik. Younger generations are also embracing a culture without drinking.
맛집을 찾아다니거나 예쁜 카페 그리고 유명한 맛집들을 찾아가면서 그 술을 대체해서 맛있는 음식을 먹으면서 얘기를 나누는 그런 시간들이 많아졌던 것 같아요.
Some university students are actively encouraging their peers not to drink. At one Seoul university, even starting a club called the Alcohol Reduction Association.
술자리가 많이 줄어들었고 개인을 배려하는 술자리 문화로 발전해 나간 것은 사실이지만 여전히 술자리가 존재하고 그로 인해서 소외되는 개인이 존재하기 때문에 그 부분이 개선이 되어야 될 것 같고 이 부분이 저희가 절주 서포터즈 활동을 계속 이어나가는 이유입니다.
Meanwhile, for locals who do continue to patronize Nokdu Street, the experience is as much about reminiscing about the past as it is about living in the present. Howard Chang and Sonia Schlesinger for TaiwanPlus.
3 Taiwanese members of a religious group have been arrested in China, accused of illegally practicing as part of a cult. Representatives in Taiwan say they've done nothing wrong and are demanding their release. Pharrell Hughes reports.
Taiwan has asked China to release 3 members of the Yiguandao religious group arrested in early October. It wasn't until this week that China's Taiwan Affairs Office confirmed they had been detained, accused of, in Beijing's words, illegally organizing and practicing as members of a cult. Taiwan's Mainland Affairs Council, or MAC, is requesting their release to protect their rights. The MAC adds that this is not the first time Beijing has, in its words, illegally arrested members of religious groups who traveled to China. In response to Beijing's accusations of participating in a cult, a separate organization in Taiwan that helps communications with China, the Straits Exchange Foundation, has stressed the religious group is legal in Taiwan with millions of followers, and the 3 arrested were not doing anything illegal.
有3位一旦灌道的道亲，年纪都已经70、80岁了，被中国 不知道哪个单位逮捕，到现在已经快2个月，没有任何消息。我们透过各种管道查询，也没有任何回复。他们去不是从事什么政治行为，就是去一贯道亲，在民宅里头读4书5经。
Both offices are still waiting for responses from Chinese officials, but in the meantime, they're warning Taiwanese religious groups that China does not have religious freedom, and they may want to reconsider trips to the country for the foreseeable future. Justin Wu and Harel Hughes for TaiwanPlus.
Taiwan's military is dealing with the aftermath of Chinese exercises that ended on Wednesday. Despite fewer Chinese naval ships now operating around Taiwan, there are now concerns Beijing's unannounced drills could be a new normal. Yeol reports.
It's been 3 days since China wrapped up what could have been its largest military exercises in over 3 decades. Taiwan's defense ministry reported earlier this week that China had deployed its largest naval and coast guard fleet since 1996. But with military activity in the region decreasing, many observers are now asking why China, which usually shows off its military exercises, didn't make an official announcement. This is what Beijing had to say.
是否举行演习，何时举行演习，由我们根据自身需要和斗争形势自主决定。无论是否举行演习，解放军在打毒促统方面不会缺席，不会手软。任何以外谋独、以武谋独行径，都必遭严惩，注定失败。
But this has prompted debates about what China's real motive is. The last time China conducted large-scale military exercises, Beijing not only announced where and what it would be practicing, but also released a flurry of propaganda videos aimed at intimidating Taiwan, which it sees as part of its own. Analysts in Taiwan say that without a clear announcement, these suspected drills could be a show of force not just to Taiwan, but other countries in the region.
做我们刚才讲的 tricky operation， 一方面它要展现对于台湾的不满，二方面要向美国还有盟国就是秀它的军事肌肉。这在国际政治里面就是 show the flag， 就是展现国旗。所以它不为台湾，但是它其实就是用来就是展现它有能力可以控制第一岛链。
The first island chain is a string of countries and islands stretching from Japan all the way down to the Philippines and near Vietnam. This chain is strategic for both the US and China, as whoever controls this area could form a line of defense. But analysts in the US say that the more countries affected, the less China can make Taiwan a domestic issue. This could be another reason why there was no announcement.
The more you bring in the Japanese or the Philippines, or even say the South Koreans, or just through shipping and transit, the more it internationalizes this issue and kind of works at cross purposes with my assumption, which is that they're trying to ratchet down the temperature or keep it within a certain political balance.
Given how quickly Beijing was able to deploy its navy, some lawmakers from Taiwan's ruling Democratic Progressive Party are concerned that China's unannounced military operations could be the start of a new normal.
我很清晰地认为这是常态化的一个中期阶段，因为它其实已经开始了。你从利剑 A、利剑 B 到重要的美方的人士来访的时候，他们都可以随时随地，然后把这样子演习的侵扰的状况来去扩大。
This new normal is a reality that Taiwan's military will have to adapt to, as it now faces the challenge of China's unpredictable but constant military threats. Hang Shu and Jaime Okan for TaiwanPlus.
Protests in Georgia are entering their 17th day as the country prepares to appoint a new president. Pro-EU protesters and the 4 main opposition parties say elections in October were rigged.
First of all, I think that this election in October were rigged, so any actions that will be taken after these rigged elections cannot be legal. So we don't even think about the outcome of these fake elections that they have tomorrow, because it doesn't matter, it doesn't make any sense.
The The country's disputed parliament is set to nominate sole candidate Mikhail Kavalashvili from the ruling Georgian Dream Party in a vote on Saturday. Protests against the pro-Russian ruling party began after October elections, but they escalated at the end of November when the government said it would shelve negotiations to join the EU. A majority of the public back Georgia's path to the EU, a plan that's part of the country's constitution. Kavalashvili is known for being the main voice for anti-Western propaganda in Georgia. Vietnam is looking to cut severe pollution choking its capital city, Hanoi. Part of the government's plan is to reduce the number of gas-powered motorbikes on the roads and replace them with electric alternatives. As Rosie Greninger explains, Gen Z drivers are leading the charge.
Taxi driver Phong Kak drives his electric motorbike through Vietnam's heavily polluted capital, Hanoi, using a mask to avoid the fumes. Here, gas-powered motorbikes rule the roads, and the exhaust of the country's 77 million bikes account for 2/3 of the poisonous smog in Vietnam. In the face of the unbearable pollution, Phong is among a growing number of Gen Z workers turning to electric vehicles.
Khi mà đi xe xăng mà dừng ở đấy mà mình chỉ muốn vượt đèn đỏ, không muốn đứng lại lâu. Cái mùi xăng, mùi dầu lên rất là ghê.
And he is not alone in wanting change. Government officials have ordered that 1/4 of all two-wheelers across the country be electric by 2030 to battle the air crisis. And the electric mopeds are now more accessible at a price as little as $500. But there are still issues preventing more people making the switch.
Tôi không thích đi xe điện vì xe điện không được điện, đi sẽ không khỏe và đường đèo các thứ thì sẽ không an toàn. Đấy, còn đi xe xăng, xe số thì nó sẽ an toàn và thuận tiện hơn nhiều.
And those who have converted to electric feel long charging times cause a loss in working income, with battery recharging taking up to 3 hours. But a Vietnamese company has created a quick fix, setting up stations across Hanoi where riders can instantly swap a depleted battery for a new one.
Hiện tại là công ty đang hợp tác với các hãng về vận tải như là Grab, Bee, Lazada, Shopee, rồi là Viettel Post và nhiều doanh nghiệp khác nữa. Thì cái đón nhận của các doanh nghiệp này đều rất là tốt và họ đều có những cái mục tiêu và có những lộ trình để chuyển đổi sang xe điện. Và tài xế cũng đón nhận rất là tốt.
Despite the efforts to make e-bikes more convenient, many in Vietnam remain hesitant. This company's founder is urging the government to help drive momentum through incentives, including waiving registration fees. But transport experts warn electric vehicles alone won't fix the issue.
Và bản chất là cái bài toán đấy nó cũng rất là dài hơi trong việc là cái chuyển đổi về sở hữu và sử dụng phương tiện xe, giảm ùn tắc. Bởi vì xét cho cùng ấy, nếu mà chỉ chuyển dịch một giữa xe 2 bánh xăng sang xe 2 bánh điện chẳng hạn, thì thực ra bản chất ùn tắc là vẫn thế. Cái mạng lưới đường vẫn vậy thôi.
To help free up gridlocked streets, residents here are being encouraged to embrace public transport. Even with these changes, eliminating severe air pollution will take some time. But as more drivers make the switch to electric, this city is one step closer to cleaner and clearer streets. Dolphin Chen and Rosie Greninger for TaiwanPlus.
Thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. Don't forget to visit the TaiwanPlus website and follow our social media. Finally, let's go to Paris, where the crown of thorns has been returned to the Notre Dame Cathedral. The crown was sealed away after the cathedral caught fire in 2019. I'm Joyce. Take care and see you next time.